Hello, everybody. Thank you for returning to our YouTube channel. My name is Brian. My co host, Matthew Kretikin, the former Navy SEAL, could not be here. He's in Ukraine doing some things. We have a lot to go over with this Ukrainian special operation. I actually have a little list here. A lot to kind of dabble into. A lot has changed, a lot of conjecture, a lot we don't know. And obviously, Ukrainians aren't telling us because that's great OPSEC policy. We do not want the enemy to know what's going on, how many forces you have, how far you've actually gone. But we do know that the Ukrainians are reporting that they are somewhere in this area here. But there has also been reports from Russian bloggers, military bloggers, that there is contact in this area between Russian and Ukrainian forces. And then also in this area here, there has been contact. And there have been some reports of engagements happening in this area. So it might be a larger area that they are currently have already taken under their control, the Ukrainians. But again, we don't know how many troops they have and how far they're willing to go. So the other thing I want to talk about is reinforcements. There is a large convoy of Russian reinforcements coming down in this direction. There are some trickling in from this area and this area, and I'll show you on another map that kind of shows that. But we do see that there is a lot of scrambling. The Russians seem to be panicked, trying to find troops to reinforce this area. Remember, this was completely unexpected. Let's take a look at some footage of this convoy. Let me get rid of my circles and stuff here. There we go. Now, this report is obviously doing a fairly bad job with OPSEC. Their troops are right here in whatever that says town or city. So then we can see there's quite a mix of different equipment. There are BMPs and howitzers they have. There's several different videos that I'll show you to kind of give you perspective of the same convoy. Right here it is again, another view of it. And we see, troop transports and probably lots of supply vehicles on their way to reinforce that area of Kursk. Sorry. So it's in the Kursk Oblast. These guys are heading, and I showed you, where they were at the time. Oh, that seems like a howitzer there. We'll see what else they have. And that is one of those MLRS systems. A lot, like I said, there was a lot being brought to the area. Another look at this one. There is another howitzer. Not sure what that is there. Maybe it looks like a BMP of some sort. So they are bringing some firepower into the area. Now let's go ahead and go back to our map here. And that was in this area right here. And that is on its way down. Now, again, the Ukrainians and them may have already clashed in this area or down in this area. Just depends on how far they've gone. Oh, I'd like to also show you another map here. And this one will give some perspective of that movement. So we see that this is where that one big convoy is coming from. And the red is indicating some trickling in of more Russian forces. Again, this is a scramble to get stuff there. Is it probably in a bit of a panic to stop this momentum, which seems to be going quite rapidly. All right. So the other thing I want to show you guys is what happened out in Lipsick. I may have pronounced that completely wrong. There was an air base that was absolutely obliterated. Not too long ago, maybe a day ago, it was hit. There is a video here of it being taken down. Look at it, just massive explosion. I mean, incredible. Must have hit an ammo depot. Must have hit an ammo depot for that kind of explosion to occur. Now let's get back to our map here. So that's quite an interesting development. So they're losing some air capabilities to get into this area. Um, Now, the other thing we're going to look at is air defense here and here. Now, what's interesting, this is in the Belgorod area, if I pronounce that right. So this is that region here. This would be the Belgorod region, something like that. The Ukrainians took out their air defense. They heavily hit it. And if we look, should be right here. This is what was filmed. So it was a large plume of smoke. Now, you can't really see it that well there, but here you can see it. So something is burning. That was the air defense network that was there. To Ukrainians are hitting. And now we also know in this area is the Kharkiv, and this is where the Russians conducted their own offensive into the Kharkiv region. They're right in this area here. They have amassed roughly around 15 to 20,000 troops. What's interesting is the Ukrainians have been heavily shelling the rear of these units. So they're weakening the rear guard, the supply lines behind them, their warehouse, everything that they had back there in the rear. In particular, maybe the rear guard, because I mean, we don't know how far the Ukrainians are going to go, but let's imagine they get out and they secure this area here. They would be able to hit this from behind. They can hit them from the rear, and they want to weaken this so there won't be a good counter attack, and the fighting positions they have here would be significantly weakened. Now they might do that. I don't know. I'm just saying that. So it's just an idea I had in my head on what possibly they could be doing. And the other thing we want to look at is, I'm over here crossing off my list. This is a depot where they repair armored vehicles. Was completely devastated, was hit with multiple drones and completely taken out. So they have done a lot of things to weaken the capability for this area to be reinforced logistically, hitting them in air defense, logistic capabilities. So if we imagine they're going to hold this area, that's something you'd want to do, right? You'd want to really weaken the capability of your enemy to reinforce these lines. Now, what they'll do here, the Ukrainians, I don't know. Maybe they're going to use this as a staging ground to go after more territory. Depends on how many troops they have there. Or they're just going to bring in air defense, artillery, and reach out behind some of the enemy lines they couldn't reach before. So let me do this here. I'm going to bring this out a little bit. So there we go. So this is where all of that activity is going on. This is where the Russians have invaded Ukraine yet again to the Kharkiv area, where they're getting absolutely smashed, the Russians. So if they can secure this area, they may have the ability at this point to hit supply lines like here, back here, depending on how much they can take, right? So we got to be realistic, but if they're able to reach out into these areas, secure maybe something like this, I don't know. It may put this area in more danger of being hit by HIMARS and other platforms that the Ukrainians have. All right, and then the last thing I want to do is show a measurement of, in miles, how far they have gone, the Ukrainians. Let me change this here. So if we go here, this is where currently the Ukrainians have crossed the border, right? And we know that they're possibly out this far, right? In this area. So if we come over here, we're going to, oh no, we're going to go a little further than that. I apologize. They are probably out here, as some indications have stated. They might be like this here, maybe. So let's get an idea on the most, distant that reports have come, how far they might be. So if we go right from the border, they have gone, let's just say straight out, about 36 kilometers, which was a report before. They were saying that there's a possibility they could be there. Now, again, the Ukrainians aren't telling us, right? Because they don't want us to know. And we only see what's coming in from what people are posting and what the Russians are saying. So they've made it maybe 26 kilometers and probably the same in this direction. So this will give us a perspective of what's going on, what possibly is going on. So, anyways, again, thank you everybody for visiting our YouTube channel again, and we appreciate everything that you guys do with your support of Ukraine, Slava Ukraini. And if you're interested in joining our organization, link is in the description. We're always looking for engineers, scientists, technology, or anybody who wants to help Ukraine. Technology for Ukraine brings innovative solutions to the Ukrainian military and civilian population. All right, thanks again, everybody.